Welcome to Java. Thank you for joining me. It's October 22nd, 2024. It is Tuesday. Thank you all kindly for joining me. I would just like to say also, if you would please hit the like and subscribe if you're not already, or if you were, just check and make sure that you still are. There's been quite a bit of basically shadow banning going on recently where people are telling me they've been unsubscribed. So if you don't mind checking that, and we'll go into basically what's going on in the markets surrounding everything in this craziness as it leads up to the United States election. So, with this, let's start as always. Market risk, our MMRI is rising, and I would like to speak about this for a minute. It has gone up to 271.8. Now, the main driver of this is the 10-year yield. It's based mostly off of calculations that involve the 10-year yield as well as the relative strength of the dollar and the basically the golden ratio. So between these, we are watching the 10-year yield rise significantly. It's up to 4.213. What is going on with that? In short, bonds and the debt market globally are selling off. Now, this is US Treasuries basically, and as they sell off, they have to increase the yields. Now, I spoke about this a bit yesterday, but if you're new here, how it works is if they're selling off the bonds, it drops the price. And as it drops the price, they have to increase the yield to get other people to purchase. So we've got Japan in the background. We've got the Japanese yen breaching 150 per dollar, and they are beginning to exercise some selling as well. Now, this is kind of an introduction to the yen carry trade. Basically, they are one of the largest holders of United States debt. So with them selling off, we are watching that yield rising significantly. Now, with this, watching fear greed meter dropped a bit from 75 yesterday, still in greed territory. So with this, we've got the stock market at the moment showing a bit of weakness. Okay, we've got the tech sector basically in the NASDAQ holding a slight gain yesterday as things pretty much sold off slowly during the day. We've got volatility index increasing. We've got gold and silver are basically the heroes of the day yesterday, still rising, but they're hitting resistance. So expecting a short-term pullback from here. Gold over 27.50, silver above the $34 mark. This is the highest it's been in quite some time. So this could be the beginning of a silver squeeze that we've been talking about, that the lack of physical silver to meet the demand that is actually out there. This silver goes into a lot of the bombs that we're sending over to the Middle East, as well as electrical vehicles, electronics, etc. So there's high demand for it. Now we've got the telltale cryptocurrencies, basically that generally lead the tech sector and the market. They're pulling back a bit after those have been hitting all-time highs and showing weakness right now. So it's giving us an opportunity for another dip. Now we've got mainstream media telling us that America is doing better than the media or politicians tell us, and they've got proof. Well, that's an outright load of garbage. I'm just going to tell you that because the economy in America is swirling the drain. It is dropping like a hot rock. We've got businesses in bankruptcy at higher rates than we've seen in a long time since COVID. Prior to that, it's been a very long time. So businesses closing. We've got manufacturing down, production down. So America is not doing better than the media. That is a load of propaganda for us to basically export to other countries. So with this, I'd like to speak about Druckenmiller, Stanley Druckenmiller, basically shorting US treasuries. He's got almost 20% of his portfolio shorting US treasuries. That is a significant amount. So basically what he's getting at is that this sale into treasuries will continue. If it does continue, there will be a spike in the 10-year yield. What does this mean to you? Basically, if you're in the markets, this spike in treasuries and dollar strength basically will pressure the markets immediately. So that could cause an immediate, basically, try and basic exit from the markets all at once. So trying to keep an eye on that, if you will. It's very weak at the moment. We've got these bonds selling off, gold and silver up into short-term resistance, and we are hitting critical levels on the futures. So this is the futures down here basically saying there is more weakness in the market expected to come. Nothing is guaranteed, it's not financial advice, but it is just generally the probabilities are favoring these directions. So with this, let's go into a little bit more behind the scenes. So we had another electric car brand vehicle on the brink of bankruptcy now. As I was saying, this supposedly strong economy, they are basically narrowly avoiding bankruptcy, but the threat still continues. Now, they've managed to avert this potential delisting from the NASDAQ, but this is on the basically weak demand. They cannot keep their numbers up. So with this, all of this, we've got underlying market, gold and silver, the indicators that show whether the market is getting weak. Now we've got silver spiking, performing better than gold over this last run that they're having here. And we're watching that to see if it has a breakout that will continue or if it will pull back from here first prior to setting another level and continuing from there. However, gold and silver longer term, very bullish. So with this, we've got Lockheed Martin. If you're not familiar with who they are, their shares are rising pre-market today. Now they're going to be basically reporting a little bit later. They are defense stock companies. They are behind a lot of the weaponry going globally now between Taiwan and also the Middle East, and building all of these, the bombs and the basically the craft that are going into these wars. So now along with this, we've got defense groups betting large on drone destroying laser weapons. Now this is, I've been saying, a war economy. If you're new here, that just basically means the largest part of the United States GDP now is between the government and also basically weaponry and the wars that are going on globally. Now, with this, we've got sanctions backfiring as European exporters suffering more than Russia is. It means that it's hurting. No one is able to basically sell their goods with the sanctions because it is dropping their sales as well. Now, we've got what is going on in the larger, saying they won't be affected by Western sanctions if we work collectively as BRICS states. Now, she's media personality, and they are basically now not just collective, as they're saying, actively working together to not just de-dollarize, but work outside of good Western trades. They still need quite a bit. However, they are rapidly heading in that direction. So this is just one more example. Now we've got basically the administrations against Nippon Steel's $15 billion buyout US steel acquisition. Now the Japanese steelmaker is now putting $1.3 million into lobbying efforts, understanding how the politics work. This is not about resources. It's not about a business. It's not about the sales of manufacturing or production. It is all about political moves going forward. So with this, we've got the BRICS have officially begun today, and they are set to build a statement soon. We've got elections on the horizon for the United States. So with all of this happening in the background, miring down the economy and basically boding not very well in the near future, I'd like to say a couple of the positive things and solutions that we've got looking forward. Our solution to all of this is basically stacking real goods, meaning gold, silver, tradable goods, and relying on each other. Now, with the devastation that just happened out in North Carolina due to the hurricanes, we've got farmers from around the country driving in feed and hay from the farm animals in the Appalachians basically there were stories, farmers having to cull their livestock because they were starving to death. So once other people around the country found out about this, this is a particular convoy, if you will, from Kentucky coming to their help. They're loaded with feed and things for the animals there to save them. Now, it's just not just Kentucky, but we've also got other states that are going in on their own time with large heavy duty equipment. They're trying to rebuild the roads for them. They're bringing in feed, helping people locally. There are local aid groups because the government basically, even though they did send some aid, FEMA was major failure. And this is how we're going to be moving forward. So helping each other, paying it forward, this is the way to get through this in a very human way. So with this, I would like to also point out, if you remember who this gentleman is, his name is Daniel Pinney. And basically the selection begins today for his trial. Now, if you don't remember who he was, he basically stepped in after an individual basically hyped up on drugs, very threatening, causing issues, and he became a very real threat. It took him down, and now, unfortunately, the other individual passed away due to this. So he's got to stand trial, and I think I support him in what he did. It is unfortunate the other person expired, but with what went on, we've got to look forward that we basically need to rely on each other. So with this, I wish you all a wonderful day. Green day if you're trading, and until I see you again, my friends, stay free.